Hey, before the video starts, I just wanted to let everyone know Kyle and I don't really know how to play Warzone very well. We both used to play it probably over a year ago, maybe 2, maybe 3. But as you can see, we're not super good in this video, but we're just having fun. We're just talking about, well, we'll get to that. Enjoy the video. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conservative.
Today we're going to be talking about the viral press conference between Trump and Zelensky. To get us started off, we got Marco Rubio. Gonna kind of break it down what happened there.
See, you guys only saw the end. You saw what happened today. You don't see all the things that led up to this. So let me explain. He's trying to bring an end to this conflict. We've explained very clearly what our plan is here, which is we want to get the Russians to a negotiating table. We want to explore whether peace is possible. They understand this. They also understand that this agreement that was supposed to be signed today was supposed to be an agreement that binds America economically to Ukraine, which to me, as I've explained, and I think the president alluded to today, is a security guarantee in its own way, because we're involved. It's now us. It's our interests. That was all explained. That was all understood. And nonetheless, for the last 10 days, in every engagement we've had with the Ukrainians, there's been complications in getting that point across, including the public statements that President Zelensky has made. And it was and should have been a very clear understanding. Don't come here and create a such scenario where you're going to start lecturing us about how diplomacy isn't going to work. President Zelensky took it in that direction, and it ended in a predictable outcome as a result.
So as we can see from Marco Rubio, not the best outcome, not what we wanted.
Because what do you think went wrong here? Because the idea of the press conference, it seemed like they both had different ideas of what they wanted the press conference to be. For Trump, it seemed like it's all right. We made this deal. We've been talking about this deal for weeks. This is just kind of a press conference victory lap to just kind of let the public know what's going on. It looks like another dub for Trump, so he's gonna want that. But Zelensky seemed to have different ideas.
Yeah, that's what it kind of seemed with what Marco Rubio said, that I'm dead. No! Oh, I almost got both of them. So that's what we kind of see from what Marco Rubio said.
Hello?
Sorry, yeah, anyway, so that's what we were seeing with what Marco Rubio was saying, that they already had been talking about these peace deals, and earlier that week that this was taking place, they were, well, I think it was just a few days before that they were talking about what the deal was, which was mainly that America was going to get some of the minerals and some of the land for to get profit from the minerals in Ukraine. A lot of the minerals and stuff that we're getting right now is coming from China.
Because then we don't have to rely so much on.
Well,
we don't have to rely so much on China. We can be a little bit more independent. And then for Ukraine, this whole time we've just been giving them money, and this is kind of our way of recouping those losses that we've had by giving them 183 billion.
Yeah, according to the government website, it was 183 billion. Yeah, there we go. You should not have won that at all.
No, but
that's what Trump was talking about a lot during the press conference, especially. But that was going to help repay the United States instead of just putting money where we're not going to be getting anything back. But we're going to get we're going to hopefully get money and resources back from what we put into Ukraine already.
And so to me, it seemed like starting off the trajectory of the press conference was going to be, was planned to be, just kind of they introduced themselves, what the deal was, all of that. But I think for Zelensky, he has been at war with Russia, and for him to be the leader of Ukraine and to be at war as long as he has been, he's had to take or give zero ground, rhetorically, I guess.
He's given a lot of ground, actually.
Make no compromises, essentially. he was attacked. He needs to be seen as a strong leader to his people. And so anytime Trump said anything that's, not even necessarily good towards Putin, but not totally condemning him, Zelensky had to jump in. He felt like he had to jump in and say, well, actually, Russia attacked us. Russia did this. And so I think that's kind of where the tension started, because I don't think Trump was expecting that, and he was just hoping that Zelensky would take whatever he gave him, and Zelensky had to remain strong with Ukraine's stances no matter what. And I think that was kind of Zelensky's downfall in that.
It seemed like Zelensky was kind of switching up, or maybe he didn't fully understand or something, because right at the beginning, his introduction, he said
that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue.
He talked about
I really count on your strong position to stop Putin
and
at the very beginning of war, because he is a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. And of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories, but it will be later.
No compromises can be made with a killer, with territory especially. Are you dead?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I just dropped on you, brother.
Behind you.
Where did the... Anyways, it seems like Trump had already planned on there's going to have to be a compromise to be made for this war to end in any way.
So the deal that was supposed to happen, the Ukraine would allocate 50% of its revenues from natural resources to a fund entirely owned by the United States. So Ukraine's mining, doing all this stuff. United States gets 50% of all that. And that continues until that fund has reached $500 billion. So that allows us to continue helping them out, but we get paid back. And then that includes we get revenues from territories Ukraine claims back from Russia as well. However, a big sticking point that Zelensky had is this agreement doesn't explicitly include any security guarantees for Ukraine. So there's no guarantee that if Putin attacks Ukraine, if he breaks a ceasefire, then the United States is going to send troops over and help out. However, like Marco Rubio talks about, it kind of does include security guarantees, because now we have a financial stake in it, and I'm assuming we'll have our own plants over there, our own mines, so we'll need to protect those as well. So we will have a stake in it, which is a security guarantee there, but it's nothing explicitly stated, which is, I think, what Zelensky had a big problem with. I don't know if you like this, but one thing he said that it was kind of one of the less important questions, but he gets asked why he doesn't ever wear a suit.
Oh yeah.
And he says, when the war is over, then he says I'll wear a costume once the war is over. And I think while Americans, we might not like that he's not wearing a suit to the Oval Office. You did? Yeah. I think it signifies to his people that he's in the war with them. He's not just off in his ivory tower, not affected as it. He's dressed and ready for action. He's not wearing a suit.
That's the thing that killed me, bro. That freaking shotgun.
So bad, dude.
I thought it was funny because then Trump afterwards was like,
Please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other, but you know what? I think...
or something like that. Right?
Trump was having a good time,
yeah.
At least at the beginning.
Yeah.
He mentions how he's greater than Abraham Lincoln and George Washington.
I would say I'm far superior to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Now, you know I'm only kidding, right?
And then I think the tone kind of changed. The first kind of like little contentious back and forth they had. We'll just show the clip.
And really, we can help Europe, because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support, but they are our friends and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot, Mr. President. They did.
They gave a lot, but they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No. No.
Don't argue with me.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
So as you can see, it was super lighthearted. I think it kind of threw Trump off that he was saying that Europe didn't give a lot less than the United States, which we'll pull up a chart right now. The United States gave a total of $183 billion overall, whereas the rest of Europe overall gave around 130, 140 billion dollars, depends on the source.
That's combined with all the European countries, right?
Yeah. So the United States funded way over half of the war effort so far.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Oh my god. Well, consistently. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. I killed him. Consistently, Donald Trump was talking about, or he said, I want the killing to stop. I want the war to end. And Zelensky consistently was like, we need security. We need to stop Putin.
Yeah, I think Trump's idea is that he wants to end the war and Zelensky wants to win the war.
Yep.
However, I don't know if Putin will stop, because I don't know, after watching Tucker Carlson's interview with him, the Russian mindset I think is just completely different than the American mindset, where I think at this point depends on who you ask, but in general we aren't interested in expanding our borders unless you want to annex Canada and Greenland. But
I'm in for it.
It's not like a cultural thing that's what we desire because of our history. But for
What?
Oh dang, you just got sniped out of your freaking mind, dude.
I got hit twice, bro. What? Yo, his kill cam's crazy. That guy's cheating.
His mindset is that he wants to annex. He wants Ukraine. He wanted Crimea. He has it now, because they used to be part of the USSR, and so I think it's a matter of pride for him, and Eastern European pride, Russian pride. And so if he doesn't get Ukraine right now, if there's a peace right now, then I think in a couple of years he's just gonna try again, because I don't think that his mindset will allow him to leave it alone, at least forever.
Yeah.
So I understand where Zelensky comes from, because he's seen all these different ceasefires and peace deals try to happen that Putin has broken, and he doesn't feel like just because Trump's here that Putin's gonna honor all that. But Trump knows that he's Trump and he always wins, So yeah. he says he's never broken a deal with me, yeah. Which is true, I guess.
I mean, we see that with the years that Russia or Putin didn't invade anything was the years that Trump was in office.
Yeah.
He's everyone gets on him for, they're saying, oh, he's a Russian asset. Even talk about him being a Chinese asset, because he has good relationships with these leaders of corrupt countries. But you're not going to make any deals. He says this to Zelensky. You're not going to make any deals. You're not going to make any deals by
pounding your chest.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really when it started to blow up, is when Vance jumped in and started talking about that.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yeah, but
that's what Biden has been doing, is saying that there's really no end to our support. We're going to support Ukraine until this is over. And they use that as a tactic to, I don't know if they want to scare Russia out of it or what.
Yeah.
But that hasn't worked for the past 4 years. It's worked to prolong the war. It's worked to keep Ukraine from not falling to Russia. But it's going to keep the war going indefinitely until some type of peace deal is brokered. And like Vance said, that's not going to happen from threatening Russia.
Exactly.
It's got to happen by making a compromise.
And that's not ideal. We don't want Ukraine to lose land, but it seems like there's really no option at this point other than they're probably going to have to give up some land, and that's the only way that peace is going to start and killing is going to stop. So
Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily don't want Ukraine to lose land, but I don't want Russia to gain land.
yeah.
I think a big thing for me is this seems like it should have been a behind closed doors conversation, because then it takes out all the pride and because it was pretty much everything that Trump said that wasn't, like I said, everything that Trump said that wasn't completely condemning Russia. I'm getting shot at.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
But it should have been behind closed doors, because Zelensky felt like he had to, every time Trump didn't completely condemn Russia, Zelensky had to jump in and say, well, they did all this, they did all these bad things, and that's true, but Trump can't broker a deal with Russia if he looks like he's just on Ukraine's side.
Yeah.
He's got to be this mediator, and Zelensky, maybe he understood that, but as the leader that he is trying to be for his country, he couldn't allow for anything good to be said about Russia in his presence. And I think that's really where a lot of the tension started.
That's where Vance got on him too. Was you're not going to get anywhere by just saying all this stuff. Or I think Trump said this too. He's like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I understand why, but you're not going to get anywhere. That's not how deals are made.
Yeah. But I think if that was a behind closed doors conversation, then Zelensky could have let those things slide.
That's true.
And it would have been fine. But because it was in front of the world, he has to show Ukraine, like, hey, Ukraine, I'm with Ukraine 100%. I'm not making any compromises.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Ukraine. Definitely not a fan of Russia. I think there's a lot of corruption in both of them. I don't know. What do you think the optics were for this? What do you think? What do you think? Anything was good? Do you think it was all bad? What do you think?
I think it was honestly bad for both sides. I think a lot of people are only watching that last 11-minute clip of them arguing, and they don't see the whole context behind it. And so I think just watching that, it makes Trump and Vance look like they're treating Zelensky like a child and just demanding respect, which, I mean, is important, but the way it looks is just like, hey, you can't talk to me like that. So I don't think that it's good for America, and I don't think that it's good for Zelensky, because I think this deal was going to help him, but that deal didn't end up happening because of how this press conference went. So I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's going to benefit really anybody.
Yeah.
And it's just going to make this war prolong.
Yeah. I agree with you on the optics. I think it didn't look good. Just because the media's gonna do what the media does, take everything in the little sections to make them look as bad as they can. I think it was in the sense of the global leadership looking at America and showing that we're not just gonna do whatever you want us to do. The very clear thing that Trump and Vance and everyone there kind of said the entire time was, we want peace. We're not going to give you things without things in return for us. Just that kind of stuff. I think that's a really strong show for us and other nations from what the other nations are going to see. But
and I think
man,
Zelensky's going to have to come back to the table.
Hey everyone, quick update. Zelensky did come back to the table, and he seems pretty urgent to do it. Quick updates. Trump, since we recorded this video, had stopped giving or had paused all aid to Ukraine. Zelensky quickly replied with this tweet. I'm just going to read the highlighted parts. He said, "My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts." I love how he commented on his strong leadership. Anyways, He said, I thought this was funny because Trump was the one who mentioned.
In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins.
He says, and we remember the moment when things changed when President Trump provided Ukraine with javelins. We are grateful for this. This is my favorite part. He says, Ukraine is ready to sign the agreement at any time and in any convenient format. He really needs our aid. So a lot less tough talk now that he's not getting what he needs from the United States to help continue this fight or whatever. Anyways, back to the video. Yeah.
Because without America's support, the war will be over.
Yeah.
And not in Ukraine's favor. So I think Zelensky's gonna have to come back to the table. I just think heads need to cool.
No. I thought I got him. Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna. I mean, he's definitely gonna have to come back.
If he doesn't get back in our good graces, then it's he's losing 50% of his funding.
Yep. Without America helping fund this, there is no Ukraine right now. I think it was a good in the sight of the leaders. I think public eye, I think it was not good. And I've seen a lot of stuff from that online, but a lot of the comments I'm seeing with everyone online is people just don't really understand, or they don't see they haven't seen the full video or clip or whatever it is. So like you said, I think they're just gonna take just those last 11 minutes or whatever it was. And
yeah, and we definitely recommend going to listen and or watch the whole press conference. It's like a little less than an hour, but
yeah,
I think it's watch that and watch Marco Rubio's interview with CNN afterwards. I think it's all helps you understand the situation much better.
Yeah, it's gonna do you a lot better than just looking at the headlines that are gonna come out from it.
Well, that's episode 1 in the books.
Yeah. Comment below what you thought of the press conference. I thought it was pretty enjoyable to watch.
But before you watch that, make sure you finish this whole video, which you have because you're here. So
this is great news.
Thank you. This is great news.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.
Okay, bye.
Bye.